Hey everybody, welcome to Nuggets Hustle. I am here with my good buddy Donnie. I am Leo. Donnie, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy. We got Nuggets, Avs, and our Broncos tonight. So yeah,
Hey man, we're
yeah,
if you are a Colorado sports fan, you have a lot to be excited about tonight.
yeah,
It'll be a late one, but that's why it's what we call Friday Eve.
yeah.
So, it's you can stay up a little late tonight.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man. It's been a while since we've chatted some nugs, but before we get going,
Yeah,
um
I first off, if anyone who watches our podcast, you notice a little different background there. Want to congratulate you on you and April on buying your first house, and you will be welcoming your first baby in February,
March,
March. Okay, okay.
March 15th.
Okay, so he'll have he or she will have shamrocks, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So, right around the time for us to be amping it up in the world of the Nuggets, but also excited for some chill time at home. And by chill, I mean, screaming, pooping, and the craziness that is with having a new kid. But we're
It's
so
pretty.
excited, man. We're so
Yeah,
stoked.
yeah. It's
But
gonna be fun.
yeah.
Speaking of kids, so you for the past I'm not even sure how many years at this point, but I at least know 2 years because I've been going to games for 2 years. You have coached a middle school basketball team, and that season just wrapped up, and kind of wanted to talk about that quick.
Oh man. Yeah, it was a great season. Coach K and I were back at it. We had a strong eighth grade class last year. And obviously they moved on to high school. And so we asked, some guys that were seventh graders last year to step up and they did. And we asked some kids that were sixth graders last year to step up to our A team and they did as well. So we were super proud of them, man. But I'm I'm even more excited to see what they do next year. Now that a lot of them have a couple years of, or at least 1 year of experience at that higher level under their belt, because that's a hard adjustment,
Hmm.
going playing. You're a seventh grader playing against a bunch of eighth graders, and if you're an eighth
Absolutely,
grader, it's kind of a new situation for you. So
absolutely.
um, I'm excited to see what they do, and we have some really tough sixth graders that are just gonna they have that grit factor. And when you have a bunch of kids like that, that's super fun to coach. So
Yeah.
um we played a lot of really, really well developed and well coached teams this year. So wins and losses didn't exactly go our way, but at this level, man, we're here about development and getting them that experience. So super
Hmm.
happy. I'm super proud of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, all right, so you want to hop into some nuggets?
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Nuggets Hustle. All right, so Nuggets, buddy. Our current record is 14-10.
Yeah.
I think we're on what, 3 game win streak?
Yes.
After an absolute scarring loss in DC. That
Yep.
was one of the most pathetic things. It's funny, I didn't even get to watch it, and um, most of the time I'll go back and I'll watch highlights. I didn't even watch the highlights. I didn't want to see it.
You
I just
know, in the famous words of Kyle Kuzma, at some point it's like, don't be that team. And we were that team.
yes.
They the Wizards completed no win November.
Mm.
And then we handed them their first win. And that was, what day was that? That was the 7th.
Hmm.
So they had not won for a month and 6 days. And we were like, here you go.
Yeah, charity.
So yeah, that was embarrassing. Jordan
It
Poole
was,
had a great game.
yeah,
But you should have a great game when we play zero defense.
yes, and we're gonna get to the defense because I got some things to say. But that loss came with just an unbelievable night from Joker. It looks like. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember you texted me. I think you said, I think you said like something 40 at. I can't even remember. You said something about 40.
At the end of the third.
Yeah, and I thought
Mhm.
you meant we were down 40. No, it was Joker with 40.
No, yeah. Let's see. What did he end up with? Yeah, I think he had 40 at the end of the third, or maybe at halftime because he ended with 56.
Yeah. I mean,
That was the career night, I think, right?
yeah, and then I think that was it the next night that they had a back to back, and the next night he had 50 something again.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy is definitely far and away, in my opinion. I mean, I'm biased, maybe you are too, but he's the MVP so far this year. Still a lot of the year to go. It's not the achievement that we want, but I think for us to get there, he does have to play at an MVP level. So it's like,
yeah.
it's comes, hand in hand.
You're
Um,
exactly right. You're exactly right.
yeah, and then we go on to beat how three other teams, man. These giant gaps in the week between games, man. It makes me
I
forget.
and it makes me frustrated with scheduling because we've had a lot of these. Then played the Hawks
That's right.
on the
Yeah.
8th. We
Who I
played
think
them the following night from the loss to the Wizards,
that's right.
and we did redeem ourselves. I want to say that the Hawks were missing some players,
Hmm.
but I could be wrong. But hey, man, 30 is 30,
Yeah.
and we got it. So,
I don't think Bogey played. Um, yeah, I mean it was a good response though. You can only beat who's in front of you.
mhm.
And we've had to deal with injury situations as well this year. Um, yeah, and I mean the way that this season is kind of evolving, it's so weird. We started so poorly and then we rattled off five great wins and then things kind of went back to what they were at the beginning and now we're just kind of like trying to separate that left side of the column from the right side of the column. Right now it's four, but we just want to keep going.
Yeah, no,
We're recording this tonight against Chauncey Billups and the Blazers, but that should be a win. That should be a big win.
yes, I agree.
Like,
I feel like you and I have said it too many times this season and just come out disappointed.
yeah,
Um, but also, you're right. It should be 30,
hmm,
and
yeah,
that's with or without Jamal or MPJ. Which man, MPJ probably can't imagine what he's going through right now.
right. Like a lot of talk. He's probably he's having one of his better seasons,
Hmm.
and he's got all this talk, and I hope that his agent and the front office kind of just let him know that like this is how pro sports works. He may go from being a Nugget, he may get traded tomorrow. We don't
And,
know.
and that's a compliment to him. Like,
Yes, like I mean, he's on the chopping block for multiple reasons. One, he's really the only big contract we can trade at the moment,
yep,
and two,
he's playing great,
exactly like other
so we
teams
could
would
get a
actually
lot for him.
want
Yeah,
exactly right. Like even everyone jokes about Jamal went he's going through this hard time. Everyone's like, yeah, trade Jamal, and I'm like, well, first off, we can't trade him in the first place, but second
yeah,
off, even if we could, I don't think we would get much in return.
yeah. I agree. Maybe, yeah. Dennis Schroeder just always comes to my brain for some reason. I don't know why
Yeah.
I think that, but
He just got traded to the Warriors, I think, right?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, solid point guard. Um, but yeah, man, these talk to me about how you're feeling. Like we've got Zach LaVine out there who I remember you kind of joked with me about like early in the summer about going after him. Um, we've got guys like Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas. Tell
I'm
me
giving my
like
responses via yeah, head shaking.
right.
Um, yeah, I like Zach. I like all these players. They're all great, but I don't think what we would have to give up what Zeke and MPJ to get Zach, right?
Hmm.
To me, Zach's, he's getting older. The dude can shoot lights out. I don't know if he's a better shooter than MPJ right now.
I don't either.
And unloading Zeke's contract seems appealing. Um, so we would have another roster spot.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
know,
I looked at
but
contracts today, and Zach LaVine, I think he's close to 50 mil a year. So
okay,
I don't really think that's like,
we can't afford it.
yeah, like I don't, and when you look at, we want to make a move that we are sure is going to make us better, right?
Yep,
I'm not entirely sure that long term that makes us better because
I agree.
yeah, I mean, it's not because of Levine. I think Levine's a great player. It's the fact that you're tying up even more cap
Mhm.
And I'm thinking at this point, I mean, and I'll just give you how I feel about the trades quick. At this point, unless we can get like, trade, say, Zeke and Dario and maybe like, I don't know, a second round pick or something for like a solid, big or guard for the bench, then I don't really want it.
Yeah.
I don't think anything from the starting five that we can trade is actually going to improve this team.
I think, yes, I agree. I think acquiring Valanciunas would be huge for us.
Yep.
Um, if we don't have to sign him long term, because we have Deron Holmes coming back next year,
Hmm.
who I'm expecting. And PJ Hall has not looked bad either. I don't know why he's not getting reps. DJ is one step closer to heaven every time he steps on the floor.
Hmm.
But we have to get a big. You've talked about it, Donnie, and you're right. Um, Russell Westbrook and Christian Brown have picked up Jamal's slack, in my opinion,
Hmm.
guard wise, and obviously MPJ is playing very well. So we just need a consistent big that's not 47 years old.
Yeah, I mean, if
Um,
if if Westbrook can continue this solid run he's had, I
mhm,
mean, then it's going to be the signing of the season, in my opinion. It's just,
mhm.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where Dario, I know he's hurt right now, but even when he was healthy, he went from like, in the rotation to completely at the end of the bench.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like the exact same thing we did with Zeke last year. Like we put him in if it's an absolute
up 20,
necessary
down
thing.
20 or necessary. Yeah. hmm
Yeah. I mean,
hmm
we finally are kind of getting what you called for last year, and that's the DJ time, right? Like DJ, you kind of know what you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get rim protection, you're going to get, outstanding dunks, but
Yeah.
I,
I
I
think sorry, go on, my bad.
no, no, no. I don't. You continue.
I think he gives right now he gives the perfect break to Nikola.
Hmm.
10 minutes, the game is what, 48?
Hmm.
We're we're playing him 38 anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well be DJ. And maybe we ask Aaron to share the load a little bit too. I don't know. But I don't trust Zeke. I don't trust Dario there. But I also think that them being forwards might play a part into it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
whatever it is, they're not contributing. So we have to make changes.
Yeah.
Um, I think for us to get Valanciunas, we'll have to get rid of a starter.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that whole trade scenario is a little bit like thinking that we can get away with just adding him basically
Yeah.
and not lose anyone. We're living in la la land if we think we're going to do that.
I haven't looked at the math, but there's no way we could get Valanciunas and CJ. Is there? Like, what would we
I
have to do? It would obviously have to be MPJ
That would be awesome.
and like probably our whole bench. But but maybe not. I don't know what CJ's contract looks like. But
I heard
that
he's
solves both
gonna
of our problems. Solves
yeah,
both of them.
I
He's
heard
going to the
s-
Bucks, right?
that's the big link I heard, reuniting him with Lillard.
Great.
Um
I'm happy for him.
Yeah. I mean, that would help. I don't think like math wise, any of these
Yeah.
scenarios are feasible. And I think you're betting everything on short term, which I mean, I do want us to make sure we're utilizing Joker's years, but I don't want to do it to where we're completely strapped in, a year or two. Because it's not like Joker's going to be done then. I'm not talking like this isn't Joker's last year,
No,
you
no.
know? Um,
But I think how I don't know. CJ's
hmm.
older. Valanciunas is 5, 10 years in.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I can't think of like Levine is 12 years in. Um, who is it? Jordan Clarkson has played 3 seasons of over 70 games out of 10 seasons. No
Hmm.
thanks.
Yeah.
I just, you're right, man. Like what are we, there's no,
If okay, let's play this scenario. Let's say we don't trade anyone. Okay, we don't
okay.
do any trade deadline deals, whatever. Okay, we
Yeah.
got we got who we got.
hmm
Everyone's healthy.
hmm
Going forward, outside of the very obvious, like give me some like what needs to change because our bench did come alive the past few games a little
Hmm.
bit.
Hmm.
We haven't had Christian, I think, for what, 2 games?
Yeah.
Russ has stepped in and been really, really great, but that does take a piece away from the bench. Um, like, do you think that we just have to live with the growing pains from this bench, or what do we need to do going forward?
I think a consistent rotation would help.
Hmm.
It's also hard to have a consistent rotation when a starter or two are out
Hmm.
consistently. Um, and it's a revolving door as to who it is of one of our four starters, right?
Hmm.
Someone's hurt or, but I also, so I'm not blaming Mike, but I would like to see consistency with not with rotations other than Jamal and Joker.
Hmm.
Um, because I bet it's hard to wonder when you're going in. And I know when you're a pro, you have to be able to make that adjustment, but
Yeah. No,
I'm just I think that would help. That's one
I
thing I think would help.
And I agree because like the season's so long, right? I think one of the things, and you could probably ask any NBA player, and you ask them like, how do you guys deal with traveling so much? How do you deal with stuff? And they're probably really good at having somewhat of a routine, right,
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
road. And I mean that's a thing for life. Guys who are good at their craft like routines,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
so you know I agree with you 100%. We need to get down, even if it can be slightly flexible, and they always have. Like, I mean, foul trouble can happen,
And it
right?
should be. And if you have to guard a special guy like Anthony Edwards, maybe you change your a defensive rotation. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
two first names comes in earlier than he would usually. You know what I mean? Like I totally
100%.
get that. That's good coaching. But two first names playing 2 minutes in the first quarter at the 10-minute mark and then not playing until next Thursday
Yes.
is weird to me because
Yeah.
I'm I don't know how to feel about
It's
sorry, Hunter Tyson. Yes. I don't know how to feel about him. Because I love him, but then I'm like, why are you so bad? Well, it's probably because you haven't played since October. You
right.
know, it
It's so true, man. That's so true. It's really hard to get into a rhythm. I mean, anything in life, dude. You want to learn the guitar, you got to practice it consistently.
Mhm.
And you need, you want to do it live in front of people, got to do that
Yeah.
consistently, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think we just need to get that down. I think Mike is actually seeing that in the past couple games, and that's why we're seeing like an actual consistent rotation with the big of DJ.
Hmm.
Like we haven't seen that in multiple or back-to-back games. I since we won the title.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
last year was a revolving door with people.
Hmm.
Um, and I think Mike is hopefully seeing that. I also think when we bring in someone else like DJ, we can't play the exact same way we play with Joker.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes we try to do that, and that's it's just
There's too
it's
much
just
stagnance
yes,
standing.
yes. And you have a guy like Joker who can catch at the high post, and yeah, he's a threat. The guy's a threat everywhere on the court, right? You can shoot the
Hmm.
ball. He can find a weird pass that I never in my life even thought was a pass. But DJ is more of a, pick and roll, get to the rim, um, offensive rebounding, defending
Hmm.
the rim on defense. Play, I mean, he still seems pretty athletic,
Oh yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
run. You have
R-
Russ in there off the bench. You got Peyton Watson, Julian Strother. Let's run. Let's play, run and gun or whatever we got to do. It's got to be slightly different, I think.
Yeah. DJ is more of a reactor where
Hmm.
Joker is more of a creator.
That's a
And
really good point.
both very effective, but you cannot, you're right, man. We try to play the same and you can't play the same um with those two.
Yeah.
You have to be, I feel like what I saw from Peyton Watson against the Kings, we need that Peyton Watson 25 hours a day.
Hmm.
Like that mentality. I'm gonna go score on you, get out of my way. Because sometimes it feels like he's been too passive, even for a sophomore. That's been frustrating to see. But man, when he commands the ball and it's give me the ball and get out of the way, I don't exactly hate. I like the way he plays when it's like that.
Yeah.
Um, and that gives a chance for DJ to be like, okay, well, you're probably gonna make 7 out of 10 layups because you're Peyton and you're young and you're learning. So I'll clean up the glass and I'll get a couple offensive boards for you.
Hmm.
Where with Joker, you have to learn how to back cut. You have to learn how to, run off a screen, a specific type of screen. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just,
No, that's so spot on there, Leo, because like Peyton Watson, uh, Julian Strawther, Russell Westbrook, when they can beat their man and they cause that rotation, it's normally going to be the guy below, right? It's going to be
yep,
DJ's man. And
yep.
what is DJ? What will he always be known for in his NBA career? Lob City, baby. Yeah. Just throw it up.
Give it
Let him
to
go
me
get it.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
So I feel like in that second rotation, we need to utilize their strengths more, right?
Hmm.
And I think I think what we hoped when we signed Dario Saric is that he would just be like a mini Joker, and that clearly has not worked.
Which I feel like is kind of racist is not the word,
I know,
but
right?
we're like,
We're
he's
like,
European. He's got to be good at
let,
it too, right?
let's
Like,
go get a giant European, and it'll just work. And for some
yeah.
reason, like we thought that that was going to work. I mean, personally, I'll admit it. I thought that was going to work.
I thought we were gonna have him just shoot threes all day.
Yeah,
And
pick
then
and pop more.
when I realized that we were gonna have him play more of that, be a baby goat kind
Yeah.
of passer,
Hmm.
uh, I was like, ugh, yeah, you are bad at this.
Yeah.
He's like an actual big
Yeah.
in that sense, you know what I mean? Where he's
Hmm.
just slow and is a reactor.
Hmm.
Um, and it's hard though, because you're going from Nikola. And then I feel like you could put in AD after him, and everyone would be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
like
It,
it's cool."
yeah.
Like,
It's all right, but
yeah,
it's not the same. I mean,
yeah. When's he coming back?
yeah, right. Right. We're sitting there staring at the clock rather than watching the game. I mean, that's what I do when I go to the games. I feel like every single time he leaves, I just stare at the clock. Um,
Scott Hastings, man, he's the worst at it. As soon as that 8:30 hits, he at the second quarter, he is hounding Mike Malone,
yeah,
hounding, and I support it. I'm clapping, and
yeah.
I'm here for it. But man, it's we got to have a consistent second rotation. And you're right, we have played so much better these last 3 games.
Hmm.
Um, we just got to find a way to keep it. And I think rotations, um, we can't force Jamal to shoot and score better. So the only way we work around that is giving him different opportunities to shine. And I think he shines maybe a little bit more with that second group. Not
Hmm.
saying bench him, but I'm saying maybe bring in Julian Strawther a little bit earlier.
Hmm.
Here I
100.
am saying let's do consistent rotations, and now I'm like, let's change the rotation a little bit.
Well, and if
Um,
we do, then let's stick to that rotation.
yeah.
You know,
Um,
I mean, Russ comes in, when Christian's healthy, Russ comes in somewhat earlier, but it's weird because
yeah.
doesn't he come in for Christian?
I met Russ. Sorry, I met Russ, and or I think Russ, whoever we want our point guard to be,
Yeah.
they need to come in for Jamal maybe a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
because I think
Gotcha.
it does give Jamal a chance to be the guy
Hmm.
with our second group, and it gives a younger guy a chance. Because what does a younger guy want to do when they get to play with God? They want to
Yeah.
prove themselves, so they're going to work extra hard, and I think that'll pay off, and that's where we'll start seeing those 10 to 15 point leads at the end of the first,
Hmm.
instead of like, well, we're up one.
Yeah.
Um,
And Joker's about to
and
sit for 6 minutes. Here we go.
Yep, yep,
Buckle
yep.
up.
Here comes the bad part of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a question for you. So I didn't shoot. I mean, I shot threes in high school and my very small career. I, but like it was rare, right? It was like a Joker three, right? It was win wide open, that kind of thing. When a shooter like Jamal, he's in this huge slump.
mhm.
How do you get out of that? Like I know everyone's like shooters got to shoot, you just got to keep shooting, but like really, how do you get out of that?
I, I disagree with. I agree with that mentality. Like, hey, definitely don't lose your love for yourself. Don't lose your mentality, but you've got to change something in the gym sessions. You have
Hmm.
to change something, and I wonder, because he's a pro and his job is to shoot. I bet he gets a lot of reps. I think maybe he changes some things in the way he does his reps. His shot doesn't need to change, but I think maybe his workout, if maybe it's stagnant, maybe I don't know. I do think, I don't know, when you struggle when anybody struggles at anything, and you continue to struggle, the worst thing to do, I think, is nothing and just pray that it gets better, especially because we're 30 games in. He's had one 30-point game this year, two, maybe three. I don't know.
I don't even
And
think he's had one, has
it,
he?
it, I think our last game he had 30,
Oh,
didn't he?
okay. Yeah, yeah. I think you're right.
But I think I can't think of another one.
Mm-mm.
So I think and I also think that giving him a chance to play with guys who are not named Nikola will give him a chance to be the guy again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That's my solution. I don't think he should stop shooting because I don't think he's taking bad shots.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes I'm like, dude, but a lot of times he makes those. And man, how many under 10
I
seconds in the game
know.
shots has he made for us? So,
I know.
but also sometimes the way he plays defense, I'm like, bro, you're the reason why we're in this position in the first place.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's the next thing I want to get to quickly. Defense, bro.
bro, quit
Like,
being a cone.
oh my
Do some
goodness.
jump rope, do some I don't know. Get some stairs in. I don't know.
Dude,
You got to be faster.
if that's what it takes to be an NBA player, then I could be an NBA player. Oh my
Right?
gosh.
I
Like
know. I
stand and
know.
watch.
Yeah.
The amount of times like especially in that Kings game, and it was funny because that Kings game was one of the funnest games of the year, right? But
I missed the best part, but yes.
yeah, like the ending, it was funny because like I feel like when we let them back into the game, the amount of times we'd get beat on the perimeter, it's probably Jamal, rotation starts, or someone is standing and watching, MPJ, cough, cough,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they get beat backdoor on the baseline, and it was a lob. And finally,
And
in like the last 2 minutes, we actually defended that. It was so
yeah.
weird. I'm like, if you guys had just done this early in the game, maybe we wouldn't be in the situation.
Well, and I think that when that happens, because you're exactly right, sometimes we get in third grade mode and we get beat, literally, we get beat backdoor, or we get beat off of a one dribble step. And then Nikola comes over to help, and you're exactly right. Then it's a lob, and everyone's like, why doesn't Nikola play defense? Man, it's hard to guard three pros at once. It's
Yeah.
probably hard to do that. I
Yeah.
bet it's hard to guard one. I can't imagine guarding three and one of them's coming at you, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
100%. 100%.
But also, Nicola's not the poster boy for defense. I'm not saying that, but I'm
No.
also like, our wing play defensively has to improve.
Hmm.
Man, we are soft as baby poo.
I agree, man. I mean, the NBA has definitely evolved. It went through a stage of, no one plays defense, no one plays defense. And I'd have to go back and watch a lot of that to even determine that. But I feel like defense is becoming such a key part of the NBA again.
Hmm.
Um, and you look at like the Boston Celtics, their team defense is phenomenal.
Yes.
Like, guys, yes, you're still gonna get beat on the perimeter. That's gonna happen. It's basketball, right?
These are
But
pros.
yeah, but when it happens every single possession, like that literally just becomes the other team's offense. Beat your
Yeah.
man and then read what the help side does. That's
That's a
literally what it's
third
become.
grade rec league.
Yeah.
Beat your man.
Yeah. I mean,
Go to the rack.
it's 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 been a huge downfall. I mean, that Kings game, we were up 20 points and then we let him back into it. And I mean, in my opinion, should have lost that game. We were down, what, like 10 with 4 minutes left or something?
At some point, I was like, are we passing it to them?
I know. I know.
Like,
It's, it's, and I mean, that's the thing. You and I gripe about it. And if it doesn't improve, I'm going to continue to gripe about it. But there's
we're
no way
fans.
that, yeah, there's no way in that front office they don't say themselves, this defense has to improve.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's what we work on. Um, and, like you said, just figure out a rotation. Give
Yeah.
us something consistent. Give those guys something consistent. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that and free throws, man.
That-
I mean,
Oh,
it's called the charity stripe. It's called, they're called free throws,
yeah.
it's
Like take your time. Take your time if you need to. Whatever you got to do. Whatever your thing is, I don't
yeah.
care. I mean,
Change your pregame, change your workout and practice, find a different coach. I'm not saying your coaching is bad. I'm saying sometimes you just need to hear it from a different mouth.
yes, agreed. Wheeze.
Sorry, I got wheeze in here.
Oh, he's got.
I didn't tell you about this. We're on the cone right now.
Oh, cone whiz.
We had a little fight with our
Man,
we had a
he
little
is.
fight with our kennel.
You
Sorry
want
about
to?
that.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You got anything else you want to touch on?
I did want to talk a little bit about the cup. But because I called Giannis for MVP at the beginning of the season,
Okay.
and uh, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
gloat that I was right, but I was obviously not because he's not going to win the real MVP. But
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm happy for him, but I don't really get it, dude. So we talked about the important stuff. What do we need to change, and what do we need to, I guess, continue with because trading is not going to probably work out for us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Any,
we just got to string together some wins. We got to
yeah.
win games that we should win. I mean, I understand like the Thunder right now are scary even without Chet.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
Hartenstein's back.
Yeah.
You
Like
trade one superpower out for another. I can't imagine what life is going to be like when he comes back.
I know.
But now they have Chet, Hartenstein, and that Jay Will.
Hmm.
Isn't he also a good center?
Yeah. The other
How,
J will. Yeah.
how do they get three?
They're all on like small contracts. They've been building this for a while. They're
They
smart.
have. They have.
All right, do you wanna wrap this up quick before we get kicked off?
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. Again, I am Leo, and I'm here with my good buddy Donny. We appreciate you guys being with us. And please do not ever forget to show some us. Go
Go.
Nuggets.
If you got respect for the game, it's time that you put some respect on the name. Joker and Murray and Joker, a duo that cannot be tamed. You got seconds on the clock. There go Murray with the shot. Yeah, that's a Murray flurry in a hurry. Came to get what all we got. Everybody showing some hugs. It's in Nikola we trust. But you gotta have an MP jump shot, leaping the competition in the dubs. Come up in the Mile High City, never coming down flight AG50. You looking at a squad full of champions. Tell me now, ain't that nifty? Not talking about Boa, but Rocky gon' show up and give all the fans what they love. If there's a rim in vicinity, there ain't no question, gotta stay above. Them boys from the 5280 gon' pull up and always be about a bucket. In case you confused, yeah, you know what to do. I'm talking about the different nuggets. You heard of Magic and Bird, you heard of Shaq and Kobe, you heard of Jordan and Pippen, but what about Joker and Murray? Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray. You heard of Magic and Bird, you heard of Shaq and Kobe, you heard of Jordan and Pippen, but what about Joker and Murray? Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray. Why so serious? Coming from a walking, talking triple-double. Seems like we've been a problem, causing trouble ever since we left the bubble. They heard of an arrow that's green. We talking about Oliver Queen, but blue is the new one, he's reigning supreme. You can hate but check the ring. Never underestimate the heart of a champion, it's Mike Malone. You could come for 7, but have your bags. Gotta know you're going home. You coming to play at the altitude, you better get your O2 ready. Cause it's gonna be a breathtaking experience, and you know we're gonna rock steady. Yeah, you heard of Magic and Bird and Jordan and Pippen and all the big threes. But what's it gonna take for these people to see that they should hop on and believe? We ain't content, so you better think twice if you think that we stopping at one. You dealing with Joker and Murray, don't worry, the fun is only just begun. You heard of Magic and Bird, you heard of Shaq and Kobe, you heard of Jordan and Pippen, but what about Joker and Murray? Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray.